from all over the world, we need to stick together and speak up.
Often forget about how cruel it is and how it affects the life of so many people.
I think when you come to something like this, you feel a bit powerless.
You know, so many years later, how people were still suffering from the implications of, you know, the bomb and stuff like that.
80 years, so we have to live it as peaceful as we can.
Where are you from?
We're from Holland.
Holland.
Yes.
Rotterdam.
Not
Rotterdam.
Rotterdam. How long are you staying in Japan?
We're here for a month.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just travel around. Yeah.
Where have you been so far?
We started off in Tokyo,
Went to Okinawa,
Fukuoka,
and now
we're here in Hiroshima.
What's your impression about Hiroshima so far?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh, really?
It's peaceful, more peaceful than Tokyo. And the museums was very intense sometimes.
And we are from a city that was bombed also, Rotterdam, in the Second World War. So for us this is really special to visit another city that went through the same.
Did you learn about Hiroshima in school?
Yeah, the nuclear bombing and World War II. Our history lessons are full with World War II because our country was also very... We suffered also World War II, so that, and maybe also we have history with Indonesia, and Indonesia also with Japan. They were like, but that's also a part of our history.
Yeah, and also about the way we are raised, because my grandmother was in this World War II, so she told me a lot about it, and she explained a lot about it. So for us, it's really important to learn to tell our children and teach them the same, I think. Yeah.
What was the most memorable stuff in the exhibition?
Oh, the photos.
Yeah, and the personal stories makes it real.
And also all the little children that are victimized. It was horrible to see for me. Yeah.
What we can do for the keeping the peace?
Well, it's a hard question. People will be people. You see what's happening now in the world with Gaza and Israel. So you hope that people learn from history, but if we're honest, they're really not learning, so that makes me really sad.
It seems like war is in our blood, for human nature. It is always war. It's always war. So.
And also that civilians like us can do nothing about it. It's the governments, the leaders that start the war. So that's.
You have to be strict controlling the government more.
Yeah, I think. And I think as people, as citizens, from all over the world, we need to stick together and speak up. So the demonstrations for Gaza, I think it's really important. Let them hear our voice. We are not for war, we hate war. So make it stop, you know? Respect each other.
We are more the same than we are different, I think.
What role
do
you think international visitors play in spreading Hiroshima's message of peace?
I think it's important to spread the word. Like when people visit Japan, tell them, go to Hiroshima, learn about the history, go to the museum.
When they go back home, maybe have different way of thinking. It becomes more personal, I think, when you see stories like this. So it's not like a history book, like a bomb exploded, but now you see the real people that suffered. So hopefully that keeps people thinking about not doing it again or being more actively involved with the government to stop wars.
And also, like when people visit Japan, they're all about fun. But I think it's important to tell people about the history, and like you can have fun, but also learn a little bit when you're traveling to another country.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it's really special that this monument, that the flame is burning. Because in our city, like I said, we got bombed too, but we don't have anything like this. So that's, for me, it's really special to see that the memory
keep it alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also like with the crane birds, I think really special.
Where are you from?
Germany.
So how long are you staying in Japan?
2 weeks. We have been to Osaka.
We arrived this morning here to Hiroshima.
So what made you want to visit Hiroshima?
I think it's interesting to see the city because it's very popular because of the bombing.
Did you learn about Hiroshima in your school?
Yes,
Okay.
that it was the first atomic bomb that was used in history. Also kind of contributed to the end of the Second World War. Yeah.
Okay. What impression is first time when you arrived in Hiroshima? Yes.
First impression, it's a little town. It's not that big, not that much big, and yes, we will see.
And I think there's some information in the center or in the information halls that wasn't in the textbook, like how many people died. I didn't know that before, and also how it looked like before. We just often see the pictures how it looked after the bombing, but not before.
How can we achieve world peace?
I think we need other people at the head of the regime. Yes, of
State.
yeah.
Maybe that we have more understanding for other cultures, other religions. I think maybe that people often forget how awful it is to use weapons, and because it kind of is getting normal, because you hear in the media all the time about war and everything, but when you see the what it does to people, you really think about it more, and I think that's what people often forget about, how cruel it is and how it affects the life of so many people.
Do you think is there anything we can do to spreading peace or something? What do you think about that?
Talk to each other, talk more to each other, accept each other, learn from each other.
Yeah, I know.
The little things, the small things. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe teach in school more about history, and so that the younger people don't forget, even though it happened like 80 years ago maybe, that they don't forget, and that it is shown to them that it's what war can do.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ireland.
Ireland.
Yes.
Oh, how long are you staying in Japan?
2.5 weeks.
Where have you been before?
I've been to Tokyo, been to Kyoto, been to Kobe, and to Takayama.
What have you done in Hiroshima so far?
Well, we arrived yesterday and it was very rainy, so we went for a walk in the rain, but not too much. And today I've been here since early this morning, since 8:30 this morning.
So you mean did you go to museum already?
Yes.
So what was the impression?
I thought the museum was very interesting. I think it gave a really good understanding. It really helps you to understand how it must have felt to be in a city and have a bomb drop on it. It's hard to get your head around it. It's hard to comprehend. And so I think the museum and the exhibitions help you to understand it, help you to place yourself, to have the experience that the people who were here at the time had. And then it also captured the political background. So it was very comprehensive, but very subtle. So I really liked it. I thought it was very well done.
Did you participate in some events, like peace-related events?
We got survivors, a descendant of a survivor's testimony, and we also did one of the tours, the volunteers tours. So both were very good, and when you're a visitor, it's nice to be with real local Japanese people, and as you can see, there are many school children, many local people. So we've been mixing with them all day, and some of the children have talked to us, and it was nice.
So is there anything we can do to help promote peace as individuals?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think when you come to something like this, you feel a bit powerless, because you see, I thought the exhibition, in the exhibition there's some extracts from the American military decision-making process, and it's really striking. Beside the testimony of the people who were the victims, their families, their lives comes through really strongly, and then you see these very clinical memos from the American committee that made the decisions, and it's military, it's very clinical, and there's much less focus on the impact on people. It's there, but not as strongly. And so I think we need more diversity in decision making, more people, more ordinary people.
Do you agree or disagree with countries possessing nuclear weapons?
I don't think anyone who I don't think it's human to agree with nuclear weapons. I mean, they're evil and they are. But maybe the fact that they have been made is a reminder to us as humans of what we are capable of doing when we're not at our best. And it seems to me like the A bomb was an experiment at the expense of people that should never have happened, and it was in the atmosphere of war. It was easier to see it as a next logical solution, whereas I think if people had stepped back outside of a war, we would never have considered, nobody would have considered that was a suitable thing to do or an appropriate thing to do. So I think it's nuclear weapons, they're here now, and maybe we have to accept that. But no, of course I don't agree with them. I think as humans we are capable of better, and we should strive to be better.
Would you recommend visiting Hiroshima to others?
Yes, very much so, very much so, yeah. It's an important thing to do. What should we be doing? Visiting these sites, understanding the testimony of people. And I suppose if you were a victim or a family member of a victim, you would want people to learn from the experience of your family member, because that's the key value, you know, is to think that they gave up their lives so that the next generation would learn something. It's the only way to justify this.
Where are you from?
We're from London, the United Kingdom.
Ah, really? Cool. How long are you staying in Japan?
10 days.
10 days.
So we've already been to Kyoto, we've passed through Osaka, and we only came here today. So we're going to come to the
How
museum.
do you feel after the museum?
Obviously, like I've seen documentaries before on TV, but there were some things here that I learned that I didn't know before. You know, so many years later, how people were still suffering from the implications of, you know, the bomb and stuff like that.
In your school, did you learn about Hiroshima or Nagasaki stuff?
School, I don't remember as much.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've probably like with the Second World War, probably more from the European point of view than
so
the world
we
view.
learned more from, you know,
With
Germany's
Germany,
side and
yeah.
USA side, but we didn't really necessarily see the impact of like Japan, you know, the involvement in some other countries in the war. So it's good to kind of learn a bit more about that.
What was the most memorable stuff in the exhibition?
I think some of the drawings that people did.
Yeah.
There's photographs, but some of the drawings that left an impact on me. Like,
Yeah, because you obviously you get a general impression of how they felt at that moment.
yeah,
as well.
and it's a personal expression of somebody, their own experience. So a photograph can tell you one thing, but through a drawing or a painting, it's a bit more personal.
How do you feel that when you see that?
It's hard to imagine that actually happening to somebody. Like, you know, or you think, oh, it's not going to happen to me, or it's not going to. But then when you see it, you know, you realise it has happened. So, you know.
How do you impression for now about the city? Like, can you imagine that having a bomb there? Can you
No,
imagine
because I
that?
think obviously we know about the park, the memorial park, but we've seen how you built it back up. You can see loads of buildings, and it looks like a modern city. Haven't seen the dome yet, so I mean, when we go over, we might say something different. But at the minute, from what we've seen, it's very modern. You wouldn't think this had happened, you know, less than 100 years ago.
Do you agree or disagree? Like, with country possessing nuclear weapons?
Weapons.
No.
No. Why do you think so?
It just creates that permanent sense of fear that it could happen again. It's not nice to have that power over other people.
And also when you saw in the museum how many numbers of how many nuclear weapons are
we
actually
didn't realise
out there.
how many weapons there were still. the general public just don't know how many bombs there are available, nuclear bombs that people could use, but it's shocking the amount.
Would you recommend visiting Hiroshima to others in your country?
Yeah, I mean, we've only just come here, so it's, you know, but from what I've seen, there's lots of history, and I think it's an opportunity to reset and think.
I think there's two aspects as well. It's a sombre, but then there's a sort of, it's nice to see that the city has still, you know, it's come back.
Yeah.
It's not like, it remembers its history, but at the same time it's looking to the future as well. You know, I think everyone needs to see it. Like the great thing as well that, you know, it's only 200 yen to get in.
Yeah.
And it means that it gives everyone the opportunity, like so many kids as well, the opportunity to come and see and understand history, because obviously they're young. Obviously I don't know how much history they have in the schools, but obviously it's important for them to know what happened before and to realise that we don't want it to happen again.
Yeah.
Sure. Where are you from?
Okay, we are from Israel. We are traveling. We came to Japan for 3 weeks now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where have you been?
We've been in Tokyo, Akone,
Takayama, Kanazawa, Kyoto, and now Hiroshima.
Hey, what brought you to Hiroshima?
Mostly the Peace Island, monument, the museum, and also I think that there's an island nearby with a torii gate in the sea.
Miyajima.
Yeah, Miyajima. Yes, this one. So mostly these, but also okonomiyaki.
Have you eaten?
Yes.
a few times, but we came to taste
the original
Hiroshima style
okonomiyaki.
So have you been to museum, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was that? What do you think about that?
אתה רוצה לדעת?
You know, I don't know if you're familiar with what my people have gone through. You know, the Holocaust. And I think that Hiroshima and Nagasaki is the Holocaust of the Japanese people. Who were, you know, just people, ordinary people, like the people that died here. That this is something that connects us to this place. And we hope that one day people will start living and not thinking about, you know, death and fighting all the time. Because as we speak, we have a war back home now, and religious fightings, and something that is so not important if you're talking about the life that we got to live here. We got like 80 years if we are lucky, 80 years, so we have to live it as peaceful as we can. This is the main idea.
What's the most memorable stuff in the exhibition?
For me, it was at the entrance, the illustration of the bomb falling from the sky and the projector or everything. It's really powerful. It was the very first thing that we saw, and it was really powerful.
It emphasizes, or it's showing how quick everything was, you know, like in a second, the world collapsed, you know. But, you know, from this moment, the Japanese have become a very powerful people that all the world should look at and learn how to go up and build yourself from the base and become very powerful like you are today.
Do you agree or disagree with countries possessing nuclear weapons?
You cannot avoid now that there is a nuclear weapon today. You cannot just make a magic and it will not be. But I think it's just a weapon that should stay without using it. but you have to commit that you will not use it ever. Because what happened here is something that cannot be, again, no more Hiroshima.
Would you recommend visiting Hiroshima to others in your country? Or
Yes, of course.
why do you think so? That way?
We've been only here so far, but this is very powerful to see when we Jewish people from Israel think about the Second World War.
Also in these areas, we think about the Second World War II.
Like Europe,
it was like Europe.
it was
Always we think about
the
Europe.
US,
but
Europe.
now
but
you
it was
understand
also...
that there was a big war here also.
Your t-shirt is so cool.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. Good. Do you like Japan?
Yes, I'm an admirer of the Japanese culture.
Really? What from?
Everything, I guess. The start from the anime movies, the manga. The people are so nice. They're so happy to have us. The non-judgmental society. Like I think in the past year, every country that we were gonna go would be judgmental and just according to where are we from. Here is one of the few places around the world that we're not experiencing
But
this.
you're having a very nice and very long history. You have a very nice and interesting religious, and you have nice, food, and nice people. So what is Japan is, and you are very brilliant. You're very smart in aspects of technology and industry and everything. So what is there not to love?
Yes.
Everything. We love everything.
Appreciate it.
And I hope more Japanese people will come to visit us also in Israel.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes, why not?